Hi everybody, welcome. I love you guys. I'm so glad you're here. So thank you for joining me. If you guys don't know already, I'm Autumn, the Enlightened daughter, also known as Magic Mama in some circles. I am a healer, a reader, starseed. I have so many different titles, but basically I'm here every week to just connect with my energy with you guys. We're going to do a weekly energy check-in. We're going to say our prayers. We're going to pull some cards. We're going to see what's happening with the freaking collective. I've already cleared the space, obviously. And yeah, I'm just excited to connect with you guys. So we're in the first week of December. Actually, we just ended the first week of December. We had that beautiful full moon in Gemini, which was kind of intense and crazy, right? Brought a lot of energies with it. So there's a lot going on. So let's get started, all right? So thank you, angels. Thank you guys for being here with me. Mother, Father, God, thank you for opening up this space and allowing me and the collective to just join together at this time. Thank you for bringing forth messages that will serve everyone's highest and greatest good, put everyone on their highest and greatest timeline, and revealing to us exactly what it is we need to know during this time. What was the energy of the Gemini full moon? What does it mean for all of us? What can we look to express, express? How can we open up our hearts to really lean into all these energies? And how can we be a blessing to one another? So thank you for blessing the space. Thank you for blessing me as a conduit for these beautiful energies and these messages. And thank you to everyone who is listening, who is joining us on the live, or will be listening to the replay. May these messages bring them blessings, abundance, prosperity, divine well-being, peace, harmony, joy, and just bliss in every area of their life. So thank you, and so it is. Ashe and amen. Let's get started, shall we? So thank you, beloveds, for being here with me. Got some dragon's eye burning over here in case you see the smoke in my eyes. But let's see, let's go into it. So full moon in Gemini yesterday, right? And Gemini is the sign of the twins. It is ruled by Mercury, which takes rules over our communication. So a lot of communication kind of issues being brought to the forefront, right? How are you communicating with yourself? First and foremost, right? We always got to start within. How are you communicating with others? How are others communicating back with you, right? Is there discord? Is there disagreements? Is there a lack of clarity, right? All of that can kind of be expected during this time. And because we had that beautiful full moon in Gemini, and Mars is also retrograde in Gemini, right? There's a lot of push-pull going on when it comes to the energy of communication, when it comes to how we're showing up for one another and how we're expressing ourselves, right? You can expect to, be misunderstood a little bit at this time, and that's not a fault of the other person. It's not a fault of yours, right? It's just a matter of we need to find different ways to communicate, right? Maybe you think you're expressing yourself very clearly and it's missing the mark on others, right? And so this is the time where we really want to be mindful of how we're communicating, that we want to have as much clarity as possible in how we're communicating, and that we're not embodying the projections that are being sent our way during this time, right? People are going to be projecting a lot of fears, a lot of their ego onto you, right? And so is that actually your truth, or is it their truth? Is that something that's being reflected back to them that they just don't like and don't want to see, right? This is an energy of communicating clearly. This is an energy of accountability. This is an energy of balancing our masculine and our feminine, our light and our shadow, right? Because Gemini, like I said, is the twins, right? And so it's going to represent all of the dualities and polarities that we have going on within this universe, right? As within, so without. As above, so below. So all of that energy is kind of being brought up to the surface right now, right? And then how we respond to it, not react, right? We don't want to just be popping off, right? But how we're responding to these things will kind of show us where we're at on our path, right? Where we're at on our journey. I tell people all the time, like, not every argument, you don't need to accept the invitation to every argument you're invited to. You really just don't, Like, I choose to walk away. I will ignore an energy. I will displace it. I will move on in 5 seconds, because I know that if someone's coming at me a little bit crazy or projecting their little issues onto me, I don't need to say anything. I know the energy is going to play itself out in their lifetime at some point within the next few days, in which they will see these lessons for themselves, right? And so I don't really get into arguments with people. And that's where we're at right now, right? It's like, I'm not getting into an argument. I'm not lowering my vibration. I'm going to try to be very clear in how I speak and how I communicate with you. If there's a misunderstanding, I will try to look for some form of clarity, right? But I'm not going to be embodying these comments. I'm not going to be embodying your fears or your ego that you're projecting onto me in this moment, because you don't want to deal with whatever's going on with you, because you don't want to have accountability for what's going on in your life, or the things that are being reflected back to you that you may not necessarily like, right? And people are always giving us a little bit of reflections of where we're at or where we've been, right? And so who are the people that are interacting in your world right now, right? Are you getting into arguments with a whole lot of people? Are you avoiding conversations with people? Are you nitpicking and looking for things in other people? And, you know, when we point one finger at another person, we're pointing 3 back at ourselves. So in all of this displacement and judgment and criticism, right, which there's a lot of during this transit as well, what is that saying about you, right? You can extend it outward in every direction all you want, but at the end of the day, you're the common denominator, right? So you got to bring the energy back. You got to look at your energy. You got to see where you're standing up, where you haven't stood up, where you're being accountable, where you're not being accountable, right? Where you're speaking up when you need to speak up, and where you're being silent on times where you know that everything doesn't need a comment. You know what I mean? So really strong energies coming in for communication and for clarity at this time, and for balance as well. Now, for those of us that have been working in the energy field or in the field of spirituality, wow, just got a super sharp pain on the left side, right? So that's our divine feminine side. If you resonate as a divine feminine in this lifetime, I feel like you've done a lot of work this year. We started off the year with Venus retrograde, right? And that was all about healing of the divine feminine energy. And a lot of the divine feminines, a lot of you beautiful divine feminines, have been going through it. You've been going through it. You've been doing the work. You've been doing the healing. You've been doing the clearings. You've been trying to show up for yourself. You've been speaking up. You've been tapping into your intuition. You've been following through, right? You've been shining your light. But it's not always easy, right? Sometimes it can, like that pain I just felt, right, can sometimes feel like a pain, like a thorn in your side. And sometimes the thorn isn't removed so that you have an awareness of that discomfort. You have an awareness of where you came from. You have an awareness of that's something that you need to kind of acknowledge and deal with, like on a daily basis, right? Sometimes we just got to like step into it and tap into it and acknowledge it and own it, and then move forward from there. So this pain, this discomfort is just indicative of all the shifts and the changes that are going on within us, right? Change is inevitable, but it's not always easy. And some of the changes that you're going to be going through or have been going through have been a little bit more painful than others. I will say that, right? Some of them physically hurt, right? And we're like ascending and we're evolving and we're growing. Our bodies are changing from a cellular place, right, with their DNA, because we're going through all these beautiful upgrades, and divine feminine is big time with you. Big upgrades and activations going on with you, right? Deep inner healing as you're clearing generational curses, right? As you're healing yourself, and you're also healing your family 7 generations forward and 7 generations back, right? And so some of these changes are going to be very uncomfortable. Some of them will bring you physical discomfort, right, as you're shifting and you're being led to, what's not healed within my body, right? Because anytime our body is showing us a discomfort, that's also indicative of where our chakras are blocked, right? Where we've given away our power, where we're allowing our energy to be kind of siphoned off, right? So let's say you're having pains with like your knees and your feet and your legs and your hips, right? That's all root chakra stuff. And we really want to get like tuned in, tapped into our root chakra and get grounded and get balanced. Wearing the color red will help. Eating grounding foods will help. Being outside in nature, going for a walk, hugging a tree, earthing, right? That'll help us to get grounded and centered so that we can start to heal this part of our body, right? So that we can move forward boldly, so that we are connected to the earth, so that we're not afraid to make decisions and to kind of get things moving, right? So these pains, these shifts, it's almost like growing pains, I want to say. You know what I mean? Like going to the gym when you haven't been for a long time, or if you've never really worked out, right? And all of a sudden you're like doing push-ups and sit-ups and your body is sore and you hate everything and everyone that comes near you, right? But then a month goes by, 2 months goes by, a year goes by, and you see beautiful changes and shifts that have occurred, that are going on within your beautiful body, and you're like, wow, right? And so yeah, it started off painful and it sucked and you hated it, but now here you are and you're looking good, you're feeling good, you have more energy, your body's like toned up, and you're just feeling good about yourself, right? Those are the little growing pains that we're dealing with right now. And not just the divine feminine, I mean the divine masculine as well, but that divine feminine energy just hit me so strongly during this, reading, that I had to bring it to the forefront. Like I had to say something about it, because it was like, oh wow, but for those of you that are, doing the work, the conscious work, that are really connected to like your spiritual self, your higher self, the divine, most high, God, Elohim, Yahweh, universe, divine consciousness, however you choose to word, the being that gave us all life here. The higher your vibration goes and the more you shine your light, guess what? Dual universe. The more light there is, the more darkness there is, right? And so for those of you that may, like me, have been getting challenged this week or in the past few months, right, and really being brought into kind of dark and dense places, right? Know that you're not alone, number one. Know you're not doing anything wrong, right? But a light serves its greatest purpose where? In the darkness. Right, in a dark room. Like I can cut a flashlight on right now, and I'm sitting outside, and it's kind of cloudy, but the flashlight will be on, but it serves basically no purpose, right? But if I'm in the darkness, right, when I'm out here at night and like it's pitch black, then that light is gonna have so much more meaning, and that's your light, right? That's who you are. Like you shine your light bright wherever you go. You're doing all your deliciousness and being your fabulous human self, right? But you're being brought into these situations that are tense, right? And maybe it's within your own family, right? We have the holidays going on, so that can be a very triggering time for people, right? Maybe it's within like your work sector, right? Or within your business, and there's just like a lot of gossip, or like the water cooler talks and low vibrational energies, and people are pissed off at management and they don't understand ownership, right? And there's all this stuff going on, and you're being drawn into these areas to help shift the perspective, to help bring some light into it, to help anchor your light into a lot of different areas, right? And so maybe you're being transitioned to another job, maybe you're being transitioned to another department, maybe you're being transitioned to a whole nother location, right? A lot of you have been guided to move recently, right? Or to kind of change your day-to-day. You're going to try something different because your light is needed in different areas, right? You're there to activate in different areas, whether you're doing this consciously or not, right? Some of you are just so luminous in your being that you just being there will shift the energy of the entire room, will shift the energy of the entire company, will shift the energy of the entire city that you're in, right? And so it can feel really dark and really heavy and really dense, but you're being brought into these situations, one, to bring some light, and two, to learn about that aspect of that dense, darker energy. Like, what are the lessons there, right? Were you holding judgment about those people? Were you holding judgments about that situation? Were you holding judgments about that lifestyle? Were you holding judgments about people's choices? Right? And sometimes you have to be brought down into the dark, into the dirt, into the mist and the grime and the disgustingness, in order to really get a sense, to feel, to understand more so where this energy is coming from, or how the minds work of the people that are dealing with these energies, right? How their souls, or not really how their souls, how their egos are having them make these choices in these situations, and then how to shift that energy and alleviate all the darkness, bring some light into it, and help to give them a different perspective and to come out of it, right? And that's a lot to deal with. That's a lot to deal with, I think about Yeshua you know, incarnating as a human being to understand all of the things that we have to have to deal with on a daily basis, right? As human beings in these temporary meat suits. There's a lot of challenges and obstacles and distortion of the energies that we're having to deal with on a day-to-day basis. And so it's up to you to kind of be like, let me take a step back. Okay, I get it. You know, it's like say you want to buy a freaking McDonald's, right? You want to buy the franchise. Cool. You can understand how the business part of it works, right? Maybe you're good with money, maybe you went to business school, blah, 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 but you may not understand how it works there as an employee. So then you go and you work every station. All right, I'm going to work this station for like a week or two, or I'm going to work this station for like a week or two, or I'm going to step behind the bar. I was from restaurants. I'm going to step behind the cashier and do that for a week or two, right? I'm going to do the ordering. And you're going to kind of like figure out all the different roles. Why? One, so when things go to shit, you can like see within the big picture, this puzzle piece is missing, like we need to plug the hole in there. And also because you want to be able to understand where they're coming from, right? These are your employees, these are the people that work for you, this is your company. You want to understand the whole ins and outs of everything, right? And so this is the reason a lot of us are being brought into these really dark places, or these really deep dark conversations or situations or whatever it might be, because you need to have a deeper understanding. Now, does that mean that like maybe you're situated right now and you're dealing with like, I don't know, a whole bunch of drug addicts, and you need to go like find an addiction in order to comprehend where they're coming from? No, you don't, right? But maybe you're being guided to work with addicts and alcoholics and people that are sick because you've sat in judgment of those people, or how could they throw their life away, and not understanding where they're coming from. And then working with these people and hearing their stories, you're like, wow, that is heavy. Wow, that is intense. Wow, that's incredible that they were able to overcome it, right? And now you're pouring love into these people. You're pouring love into these situations. You're helping them to understand, one, that they have nothing to be ashamed of, right? That this is really a huge amount of darkness, and you're here to bring some light into the world. And they're teaching you as much as you're teaching them, right? And so it's activating different parts of your awareness and different parts of your being, and allowing you to see things through the eyes of God, right? Through the eyes of heaven. God loves all his children, right? She loves each and every one of us without a doubt, unconditionally, right? Mother, Father, God is here all the time to pour divine love into us. It's we who hold ourselves back from it, right? It's we who doubt, criticize, and judge ourselves, right? The Bible says, in your lawless deeds I shall remember no more. Like, the Most High God was like, cool, you fucked up, I'm gonna leave it in the past, let's, start again today and just do better. Cool, got you, love you, mean it, hugs, go, have fun, learn the lesson, move on, don't do it again, right? And then here we go, judging, criticizing, and condemning ourselves. We're like, oh, what about that time I did, and what about that time? Okay, but that was yesterday. The past is in the past. You can't do anything about it. It's time to move forward. It is what it is, right? Like, if you guys have known me for a minute, or if you just started watching me, you'll hear me say this all the time. Like, I don't do regrets. I think it's a wasted energy. There's not shit I can do about yesterday. I can take all those beautiful lessons, I can learn from them. I have so much gratitude for the things that they've taught me, and then I'm moving on. The day is done. Yesterday is in the past. Can't do anything about it. The power right now is in the present, and I'm looking forward to a better future, right? But no matter how well I may plan things out, guess what? There's a lot of other players and a lot of other moving pieces. There's over like almost 8 billion people on the planet. I can't think for everybody in every situation how it's all going to play out, right? But I can do the best from where I'm at, within my own soul, within my own structure, within my own path, right? So we learn a lesson. We use it to empower our today. We set a solid foundation for tomorrow, right? And that's it. So if you are in these situations and there's things being brought up to you right now, like, what are you meant to learn in these situations? What are you meant to learn from these judgments, these criticisms, these condemnations, these dark and dense areas, these lessons that are being brought to the forefront for you, right? What are you meant to learn? Is this something that you need to learn for your own perspective? Maybe you're dealing with this situation right now and it's kind of like a loop and a cycle that you can't get out of. Or do you need to learn this lesson because you've been holding this judgment and criticism and condemnation of others, right, in your heart, and it's blocking you from moving forward? we're in an energy right now where we're on an accelerated track for ascension, right? And if you're doing a lot of the deep soul work, guess what? You're fast tracking right now, right? So, especially if you resonate as like a light worker or a way shower, or, you know, things are going to come at you, but the lesson is going to transform like 5 seconds, right? So what might have taken you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years to learn something before is happening in like days, weeks, hours, you know, months if it's a little slow. But for the most part, almost everyone's on the accelerated track, right? It's like we're on the expressway. We're going. See you, I wouldn't want to be you, right? So pay attention and really tune in. What do you need to learn in this moment? What's the lesson here? What am I hearing? What's being reflected back to me? What's being projected onto me? Right? Is this actually my story, or is this another story that someone's trying to give to me? Is this actually my truth, or is this a truth that I heard from someone else? Right? These are the questions, right? These are the questions. So, yeah, the beautiful Gemini full moon bringing in all the twin things, and then we have Mars still retrograde, which is in the sign of Gemini, right? So Mars is all about passion and action and initiation and getting things kind of going. And then you have it retrograde, so it's slowing down a little bit. Doesn't mean that you're not going to get stuff going. Doesn't mean that like the passions are all sizzled, because actually during this time there's been a lot of heightened sexual energy as well that I've been picking up. So obviously Mars didn't have a problem with that aspect. It was like, yeah, I'm going to slow down, but not in the bedroom. But again, with communication issues, right? There's a lot of anger, resentment, bitterness, arguments that will be coming up at this time. Depending on where you're at on your path will depend on whether or not you tap into the nonsense or you see it for what it is and you keep it bouncing. Again, you don't have to accept the invitation of every argument you're invited to. People, for the most part, which is unfortunate, but for the most part, people are coming to us either out of ego or out of fear, right? It's few and far in between that are going to come at you with these beautiful, deep conversations that are purely love-based, soul-based, right? People are either egoic, right? They're like greedy, or they think they know everything, or they're arrogant, or they're fearful, scared, limited, blocked, scarcity mindsets, right? And so you really want to be in balance with yourself, thus all this Gemini energy, right? The twins balancing ourselves so that you're understanding, one, your own self, right? Your own inner shadow, your own inner light, your own masculine and feminine energies, right? We're really honoring that at this time. And having a deeper understanding of yourself, how you communicate, how you respond, how you feel about things is going to empower you when all these different situations occur. It's going to empower you when people are projecting their fears and their worries and their ego onto you, right? It's going to empower you during those situations because it's going to be like water for duck's back. It's nothing. You're moving on. You're good. You're straight. You heard what they said. Fantastic. You let people hold the floor. For the most part, you're not saying anything. You're just going to keep it moving. That's how you feel? Great. Happy for you. Next. Point blank and simple, right? Next. We're going to move on. So, being mindful during this time of the conversations that are going on. Being mindful during this time of your own energies. Trying not to allow yourself to be triggered. Again, we want to be responding to things and not reacting, right? Somebody can, listen, I'm from Harlem. I'm an Aries. I will hurt your feelings with my mouth. 5 seconds. I can make you swallow your tongue and say some really fly shit to you and it's over. And I'm very mindful of what I speak nowadays. I'm very mindful of how powerful the tongue is. Right? I'm very mindful of how powerful my words are. And again, when we're on this accelerated path nowadays, guess what? The things that you're speaking out loud coming full circle right back to you, and they're coming back quick. So you got to be mindful of the things that you're saying to others, right? Because it's going to circle right back to your front door. And then what? It's like, who are you going to blame? You're going to point another finger? Oh, you're pointing to one, and the three are pointing back to you again. Full circle. We're going right back. We're going right back. Right? And if you're on this path with me and and you're tapping into these energies and you're kind of like awakening at this time, guess what? There's a lot happening within your world, right? You got people coming at you crazy because of all this communication energy going on with Gemini. And then we have like a Sagittarius stellium going on. So we have this like fire and like kind of desire for higher learning and expansiveness going on with the Sagittarius energy, but it's also a little bit more jovial because the eclipses were kind of intense. So we're having like a little bit more fun now, right? And then we have the holidays where we're around like old family and friends, and that can be very triggering for some people, right? Like you can either like have no family, which means that this holiday is going to be super hard for you, right? Because you're seeing everybody else get together, go visit family and friends, and it's like, wow, your family is gone, right? That's a very triggering time for people. Or you could have a huge family that you have to see and you fucking hate them, right? They're annoying. Every time you see them, they have a comment. They're judging you. They're like, your job's not good enough. Your relationship's not good enough. What you do with your kids isn't good enough. They have a list. They have a list of shit that they want to talk to you about, right? Most of them not knowing your goals, your dreams, your desires, right? A lot of them still telling stories about you from 15, 20 years ago, and you're not even the same person you were then, right? God forbid that you should bring up some shit that they did 15, 20 years ago. But it's okay for them to always bring up your trash and your drama and like your shortcomings, right? So we have all of this energy going on around us, plus the beautiful full moon, plus Mars being retrograde. I think there's like 3 or 4 planets still retrograde at this time, right? And being guided to release and heal and to kind of clear all these energies out the way, as well as taking accountability for ourselves. Like there's a lot to traverse at this time. There's a lot to traverse. And then we got star seeds and twin flames activating all over the planet. So people are coming into a deeper remembrance and understanding of themselves. They're understanding their multidimensionality. They're understanding that the soul is eternal, that the physical body might be temporary, but we continue to go on. They're understanding that in spiritual truth that there are no wrong paths because all roads lead home. And there's a lot of wisdom and understanding coming in with this knowledge, with this remembrance, but it's also really overwhelming and exhausting sometimes, right? So many of you are feeling this tension, this heaviness, and I'm just going to tell you, like, do what you can do to be grounded, right? Do what you can do to stay hydrated. Do what you can do to rest. And that's not always easy at this time, right? This is, in the Northern Hemisphere, we're celebrating the winter solstice, right? Or we're about to celebrate the winter solstice. So that's about quieting down, settling down, resting, and kind of like being one with yourself. And yet it's also the holiday season. So when we're supposed to be resting, we're actually running around like chickens with our heads cut off, trying to get a whole bunch of things done, trying to please a whole bunch of people with like, you know, all this material stuff, and then exhausting ourselves. We're working against our own very natures, right? And so we want to kind of like take a step back, reflect, be one with ourselves, and then see, all right, what's the best use of my energy right now, right? What is the most important thing that I can be focusing on right now? Not that someone else is telling me to, not that someone else is projecting onto me, not that someone else is trying to make me feel guilty about doing, but what is best for me and my soul and my body at this time? That's going to challenge some of you, right? Hey, friend. We got, I think that was a cardinal. I just saw 3 beautiful birds just like flying by. I don't know, they went kind of fast, but birds are messengers, right? And we're talking about what? The energy of Gemini, which is all about communication. So expect quick messages coming in, expect a lot of communication going back and forth, right? Everybody needs to be heard at this time. Be mindful about how you're communicating and be very clear about what you're communicating. It's funny, we're doing the Gemini energy and I have my Gemini full moon candle burning. I don't know if you guys see that. But I'm going to start releasing these candles and activation kits probably within the, beginning in January, because there's just a lot of intense energies going on, and I really want to just help support you guys in every way possible. All right? Anyway, let me see if there's anything else for the notes. If not, we're going to start pulling some cards and seeing what the Most High has to bring us. So, starseeds. Light workers did that. Divine feminines. Oh, my beautiful divine masculines. Sorry. So, because Mars is retrograde, I'm not going to say what sign it's in, because we already know. But because Mars is retrograde, this is the energy of healing the divine masculine energy, right? Again, like I said, we started off the year with Venus being retrograde, and we were healing the divine feminine energy. And that took almost the entire year for us to really dive deep and to make huge progress on it. And we have made huge progress when it comes to the divine feminine energy, right? Reawakening her energy on the planet, really activating it, grounding it in, anchoring it into different parts of the globe, and allowing that energy to just transmute out. It's been a lot of work, but it's definitely worth it. This divine masculine energy is the same thing. A lot of healing, a lot of clearing, a lot of activations, a lot of awarenesses and remembrance coming on, and a lot of shifts in perspective, right? We were in the Piscean age for how many, 2,000 years or whatever, and now, if not longer, and now we're moving into the age of Aquarius, which is kind of like us being on the bridge for like 2,000 years, but we're getting to a point of, it's not just about the crab in a barrel, or, you know, every man for himself, and, you know, only the strongest survive. It's more about a community, and then, you know, you're running, you're going to help somebody else up. It's more like a relay, right? We're all working kind of together. That's like the Aquarian age. Some people are going to be stronger than others, right? Some people are going to start off with a strong sprint. Some people in the middle might be a little slower, and then you're counting on the last person to really take you to the next level. It's all good, however you get there, right? Because we're doing it together. So divine masculines, there's a lot of energy here. Oh, my candle burnt out. There's a lot of energy here of just honoring where you're at and honoring the shifts that you're going through. And I know, trust me when I tell you, I know it's not easy, right? I know it's not easy. It's not easy to bite your tongue. It's not easy to kind of walk away. It's not easy to necessarily take the high road. All you've ever known about how to survive and make money and kind of live is kind of being shifted or removed from your life. That's big. That's a lot. There's a lot going on. Like, there's a lot going on. So be easy on yourself. Know that these energies are not going to last forever. Mars is only retrograde, I want to say, until like maybe the first 2 weeks of January. But this is a catalyst for you healing for the rest of your lifetime, right? Like, this stuff is being brought up for you to deal with it. So we want to tap into it. We want to lean into it. We want to feel it to heal it. We want to acknowledge the places where maybe we've been out of balance within our sacral chakra, right? Now our solar plexus, right? That's our power center, our fight or flight, right? Maybe your solar plexus is kind of like overstimulated and you're just kind of like being a bully through life, right? Or maybe it's a little understimulated and you haven't been using your voice or your power for good. This is the time of really bringing that into balance, which is why it's amazing that it's in the sign of Gemini, right? All this, the balance of the twins, the in and out, the up and the down, the light and the dark. Like, we're bringing everything into balance. And it's going to feel kind of bumpy, right? It's like being on a freaking roller coaster ride or a freaking train in New York City during rush hour and you're just like waving all over the place. But at some point, the train is going to stop. At some point, things are going to get settled. At some point, the ride is going to be over. And then you get to get off, get your bearings together, and keep it moving, right? But understand that you're not alone in this, right? Like, the amount of healing, the amount of clearing, the amount of acknowledgement and awareness that you guys have been dealing with, right? And stepping forward as divine masculines and being like, I'm toxic, I'm narcissistic, I'm a bully, I'm an asshole, hi, you know, and like checking yourself, you know, and being like, you know what? I can be better. I'm going to tap into my intuition. I trust myself. I love myself. We're going to do better, right? It is what it is. So a lot of that going on for you guys, and I feel you, and I'm here for you. It's also been and will be in the next few weeks a lot of emotional clearings and healings, and I mean deep. Whenever something big is going on the planet, whether that's portals, gateways, activations, whatever it taps in, no matter where I'm at on the planet, it will rain. Normally it will just be like maybe that day, you know, there was a full moon last night, I was expecting it to rain because that's what happens with me. But this time around, this full moon, this little season, it's been like raining, monsooning, almost tornado kind of weather for like a week, which shows me this emotional clearing isn't just a brief purification or a quick runoff with the energies. No, this is going to be deep. This is going to be transformative. This is going to knock some people on their ass. This is stuff that like you're going to feel from the soul. I mean, if you're ugly crying, I wouldn't be surprised. If you're crying in the shower, on the toilet, in the car, I wouldn't be surprised. If you're watching movies and all of a sudden like a scene hits you a little differently, I wouldn't be surprised, because that's how deep and sensitive and emotional everyone is feeling right now, right? And so not just Gemini and Sagittarius really highly affected during this time, because we're in Sagittarius season and there's all this stuff going on with Gemini, but all the water signs are kind of getting rocked as well as the fire signs with this Mars retrograde energy, right? So it's like so much going on with the collective, right? And I felt it really deeply. I mean, all water signs, but I'm feeling it most deeply for the signs of Cancer, Gemini, Sagittarius, obviously, and Aries as well, and Scorpio. I'm not going to do that because Mars rules Scorpio and Aries. So Aries, Scorpio, Cancer, Sagittarius, Gemini. I'm sending you all the hugs. I'm sending you all the hugs. I'm sending you all the hugs, right? I'm an Aries sun sign and a Cancer rising. I fucking get it. I get it. We're going through it, okay? You're not alone. Anyway, so we're going to pull some messages from Gaia. Thank you, Gaia, for being here with me. And the angels. And we'll see what else they want to kind of bring forth. I love it. Bottom of the deck, new beginnings. Full moons are about completions. They're about endings. They're about release, right? And so they're about harvesting our manifestation. So between now and the next new moon, and I feel that because of this new beginnings that we just had, oh my god, tsunami and wake up call. Between now and the next new moon, there's going to be some big changes going on within and around you, right? So just be mindful of that. Just be very, very mindful of that. And again, we want to take the high road. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that that's an easy thing to do. Sometimes you just want to pop off and smack somebody. I get it. I get it. I'll punch you in the face and then pray over your body. I get it. I understand. I'm trying not to be that person anymore. Trying being the operative word, right? But it's a lot. It's intense. So take a step back, right? Do something to honor and nurture yourself at this time. Mother Mary's been coming in big time as well to support the collective, as well as Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael is more like the warrior of heaven, right? He's just here to let us know that we're all safeguarded and protected. But Mother Mary's been coming in to be like, hey, love you. You know, oh, Kels, you need a hug. I know. Listen, I'm hugging you, squeezing you. Mother Mary's hugging you, squeezing you, like all the things, right? Because sometimes you just need that reassurance, that little burst, that little comfort, you know? I get it. I get it. Bottom of the deck, mountain, strength, right? Reminding you that you are strong as these beautiful mountains. Again, life may come at you, but as long as you're grounded and rooted, it's not really going to throw you off, right? And so stand in your power, stand in your truth, right? And just remember, like, no, I'm solid. I got this. You know what I mean? The winds may come, the storms may come, but the mountain goes nowhere, right? It might be a little bruised and bladdered, might be a couple of twigs that got knocked out of place, but at the end of the day, it's all good. So don't forget how strong and powerful you are. And you're going to be reminded of that in the next coming weeks, right? Woo! Volcano of volatility. Yes. That's this energy right now, right? People are popping off. Listen, people are popping off. See all that fire? You see all that fire? People are popping off, right? Mars retrograde, people are popping off. That doesn't mean you need to do it too, right? Like, control yourself and be aware of it, right? Like, you're just seeing it. It's like seeing a freaking volcano from a distance. Are you going to drive towards it? No, you're just staying back and staying safe. You see it, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, wow, but we're going to stay back here. This is my dance space, right? This is your dance space, and we're going to hold just our little honorable space. We're going to just stay back, stay safe, and peep it and watch it. Watch it play out. You don't have to accept every invitation to every argument you're invited to. That's it. Shut it down. Set boundaries. Honor yourself. You know what I mean? Waterfall, effortless. Again, with this beautiful water energy coming in, I'm telling you, it's going to be really intense. But we want to flow like this waterfall. We want to allow ourselves to flow. Water, I think, is one of the most powerful elements on the planet. Because let water run somewhere and you're finding cracks and holes in places you didn't even know there was cracks and holes. Water will get into everything. any and everything. And I love the fact that we have all this fire and water energy going on, right? Real balance. Again, with that Gemini energy of the twins, of the balancing. We're balancing our fire and our water. That's our sacral chakra, is our water chakra, and our solar plexus. That's our fire chakra, right? Our internal sun. So we want to make sure all of this is really balanced, right? There's a ton of meditations on YouTube where you can just do something to just focus on your sacral chakra and your divine feminine energy, or your solar plexus and your divine masculine fire energy, okay? And then tsunami with wake up call. It's a powerful time. See that beautiful full moon up there? Yeah. The birds are flying by, right? And I said messages are coming in. And then look at this volcano with the volatility. So some of these messages are going to blow your fucking mind. Some of the things that you hear in the next couple of weeks are going to be like, pew, fucking you up. I'm telling you right now. And you're going to have realizations about some of the people you deal with, like, this is really their mentor, or this is really how they move, or this is how they really feel, or this is how I really feel, you know, like, it's so funny, again, because of the holidays, like, it's not surprising, but sometimes people in the holidays, they start drinking, they start sipping, and next thing you know, all types of feelings and truths start coming out. Dirty little secrets, family secrets, all types of things. So, you know, in the next couple of weeks, just get your tea and get your popcorn, because you might hear some stuff, you might see some things, and it might change your life. Some of those are just going to be shocking like crazy, like, oh my gosh, and some of them are going to be shocking crazy, like, oh my god, like, you're going to be so excited, so happy. So just get ready for some unexpected life-changing messages. Get ready and get open and ready for some of the miracles that are going to be coming in. I just feel like you can't make this up. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. What did I just say? Get ready for some of the miracles that are coming in. This is why I love to shuffle on camera, so people will know. Look, and change bottom of the deck. Yeah. Some of these things are going to be life-changing for you. So maybe you're going to be offered like a new job, or in a new location, or I don't know, you'll come into some money from somewhere, or somebody's going to like hook you up, or you know, you're thinking to move, and all of a sudden you meet someone who's like, oh my god, these people are selling their house, they haven't even listed it yet, and you get in. Like, there's just going to be some dope miracles coming in for you, right? God's grace is going to be like pixie dust all over the place. So get ready for it. For some of you, some of these messages are going to be like, holy shit, holy fuck, like, what just happened? What world am I living in? This is crazy. But I feel like the majority of people, and I've been feeling that since Sagittarius season came on, for the majority of people, there's going to be a lot of blessings, a lot of miracles, a lot of grace. Like, people are just going to be kind of like in this energy of joy and gratitude and thankfulness and awe, right? I feel like that's the biggest part. There's going to be a lot of awe coming into our world, which is so amazing. And again, full moons are all about what? Releasing. So we're still in the autumnal equinox here in the northern hemisphere. This is just energy, right? Shout out to me, all the autumns. But autumn is what? About letting dead things go. It's time for you to let the dead things go so that you can make space for your fucking miracles. Stop playing. All the way stop playing. Alright, thank you, angels. I'm just going to pull a tarot from the lights here, but I don't feel her energy. So, we'll just do the angels of Atlantis. So thank you, angels. Thank you, guys, once again for being here with me in a beautiful collective. Thank you for the messages that will serve everyone's highest and greatest good, and letting them know what it is they need to expect from this beautiful full moon in Gemini. We got a 12/12 portal coming up as well, but I'll do a video on YouTube for that. Look at this. Gratitude, Archangel Zachiel. What did I just say? You guys are going to be in this mode of like, wow, it's Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and my birthday, right? A lot of beautiful miracles, blessings coming into your life. You're going to have the cornucopia, right? You're going to have so many reasons to feel grateful in the next few weeks. It's going to be amazing. And I'm not just talking about the gifts that you're going to be receiving, you know, on like your holidays. I'm talking about just life joy, just pleasure to your soul. Like, that's coming in for you. Ooh, Archangel Michael. I just said he's been here a lot, really helping everyone, right? The I am presence. I am, two of the most powerful words that you speak in the universe, because what you say afterwards becomes your truth. So, I am grateful. I am joyous. I'm abundant. I'm strong. I'm healthy. I'm wise. I'm loved. I'm valued. I'm deserving. Or you can be like, I'm tired. I'm sick. I'm miserable. Nothing ever works out for me. I hate my life. Like, I don't even like to play like that anymore because I realize how powerful it is, right? But I am strong. I'm powerful. I'm beautiful. I'm handsome. I'm sexy. I'm smart. I'm talented. I'm abundant. I'm rich, bitch. Like, whatever you know, speak some life over yourself, right? Love in your body. Wow, arms, I love you. You're amazing. Oh my God, to my beautiful feet. I love you. You're so amazing. Like, you speak to your body. Guess what? It's listening. You're speaking out loud to this world. Guess what? Your world is listening. So what do you want to bring back into your life? What energy are you releasing right now that you want returned to you 3 times? Think about that. What are you releasing right now that you want returned to you 3 times? Good, bad, or indifferent. Whatever you put out, you're going to get back. Faith. Archangel Raziel. Faith, as small as a mustard seed, can move a mountain. Faith, as small as a mustard seed, can move a mountain. Have you guys seen mustard seeds? If you haven't, go on Google, look them up. They're tiny little things, right? But this is knowing that I'm going to take one step and I don't even see the freaking staircase, but I know that one of 2 things is going to happen. Either I'm going to find another step, or the Most High is going to catch me so I don't bust my ass. Have some faith and move forward with this path, right? And be in the energy of gratitude, because that raises your vibration. That brings everything into balance for you. Oh my God, and we're going to end with the freaking scales. Look at the balance. God just be showing off. Look at the balance. Look at the scales, right? That Gemini energy. Again, light, shadow, dark, light, within, without, masculine, feminine. We're bringing all of that into balance and standing in our integrity. Beautiful red coming in for the root chakra. Once again, we talked about the root chakra, right? We want to make sure all of this is in balance. The root chakra is the seat, right? The first chakra. So you want to make sure you have a strong foundation, so you have something solid to build on, right? So for those of you who your sacral chakra and solar plexus are out of balance, let's start with the root, right? Again, there's a ton of YouTube meditations that have them. I have a meditation for beginners on my YouTube page, The Enlightened Daughter. You can always check that out. But standing your integrity, right? What is integrity? Integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is around. That's this energy right now, right? You're being called to the forefront. Are you going to do the right thing even when no one else is looking? Are you going to do the right thing even when no one else is aware? Are you going to keep pointing fingers at others and then being blind to the fact that you're pointing 3 back at yourself? Or are you going to start taking ownership? Hey, this girl, this guy, right? Me, myself, and I. The masculine, the feminine, and my supreme divine self all mashed in together. Me, myself, and I. I have to take accountability for myself. I have to take accountability for my choices. I have to take accountability for my words. I have to take accountability for my actions. What are people reflecting back to me? And what are they reflecting? I mean, what are they projecting onto me? Because those are 2 different energies. Because it's either like a reflection of some shit you haven't dealt with, or you need to kind of acknowledge, or you need to heal, or it's a projection onto you from their fear or their ego. Right? But if there's an energy that keeps coming up, you can't always be like, well, that's them, that's them, that's them. No, if there's this energy that keeps coming up, 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 and you're the common denominator, guess what? You need to make a shift, right? And the lesson's going to keep repeating itself until you do something about it. So how long do you want to play this game? Once again, we're on like an accelerated healing, accelerated ascension journey. So shit's going to come up and come to the forefront for you to deal with it. Cool. And you're not going to get all day to study and to do research and all this stuff. No, it's going to be life lesson. Boom. Life lesson. Boom. Life lesson. Boom. Cool. You just hit this life lesson like 3 times. It's coming again. Are you ready? You're going to dodge it? Did you learn anything? It's like, it reminds me of, you know, the Lion King, when, what's his name, Rafiki, right, is talking to Simba after Simba's dad died, and he goes to teach him a lesson and hits him in the back of his head. And he's like, ow. And he's like, you know, that hurts. And he's like, yeah, you know, sometimes life does hurt, but you either learn from it or you grow from it, right? He went to hit him again and he dodged it. And he's like, oh, see, like, you learned something. It's like, it's going to come. These beautiful challenges and lessons that we get and obstacles, because that's what we signed up for as beautiful humans. Like, we came here to grow, evolve, and ascend, and to expand, right? So some of these lessons may hurt. Like I said, I feel that especially with the divine feminines for this reading, just because of that pain that I got earlier while we were talking. So some of them might hurt, but what are you learning from it? And are you taking accountability from it so that you can move forward? Or you're going to keep trying to project it out? Because you can keep trying to project it out, but I'm telling you, that shit gets exhausting. You don't get tired of living the same life. You don't get tired of dealing with the same lessons. You don't get tired of being on a hamster wheel and going nowhere fast, but keeping that same energy moving. No, it's time to step off the hamster wheel and live life differently. Step off the hamster wheel and take accountability for your shit so you can own it, you can shift it, and you can move forward. You're being so supported right now to do that in such magnanimous ways, right? Like, don't deny yourself this gift. Whether the gift comes to you gently or as an obstacle or a challenge, right? What's being reflected back into your world right now, and how can you shift it? What's being reflected back into your world right now, and how can you accept it with gratitude so that you can get the lesson and you can move forward? A lot of this communication stuff is coming up because there's been such a lack of clarity within the collective about a lot of things, right? Things that have just been kept hidden or under the surface, or things that we don't talk about. How many of you have freaking family stories where it's like, you hear it through the grapevines, you hear this thing, but no one really talks about it, right? Nobody talks about that uncle or that aunt or what your grandma or your grandpa did, right? They don't want to kind of deal with it. Guess what? We got to deal with it. We got to deal with it. Everybody needs to know everybody. Everybody needs to know all the stories. Everybody needs to know what skeletons are in the closet, and not waiting until you die and we start finding paperwork and shit. No, like, get it all out. Put it out there. Be authentic. Be vulnerable. And stand in your truth. The world gets so much easier and is so much lighter when you don't gotta, like, hide parts of yourself. It really is. It really is. Anyway, that was intense and that was a lot, so I'm gonna leave the reading there. Oh my gosh, look, I split the deck. I'm telling you, there's gonna be some huge, huge, huge miracles and blessings coming in for you guys. I'm telling you. Between that, just can't make it up. Can't make it up. I love it. I'm here for you. God loves you. I love you. Angels surround you. It is what it is. Let me see the comments. Kels, I love you so much. Thank you everybody who has joined me on the live. I appreciate y'all. You guys are delicious and amazing. Let me know if you have any questions about this reading or about the energies that are going on, because it's been a clusterfuck. It's been fun. It's been fun. My sleep pattern has been off. It's been raining like crazy where I'm at, so I already know some crazy shit is about to go down. Unnecessary arguments I'm listening to. People being super defensive and guarded. A lot of projection. Look at that. But I say, it's been like a tornado right where I've been. I'm not even kidding. So I know what it is, right? And I take it for what it is. I don't stress it. Just observe. Try not to absorb these energies, right? Stand in your truth. Take accountability for yourself and ownership for your own energies and your actions. And just do better and be better, you know? That's all you can do. Anyway, my candle blew out. I'm so sad, but keep an eye out, guys. I have beautiful activation kits that are coming out. I've already done the love activation, which was so intense. I was like shaking afterwards. It took me like 2 days just to ground those energies in. So I'm not sure what I'm going to work on next, whether that's going to be like the one for money and financial abundance and prosperity, or if I'm going to dive deep into like the physical healing, because I know a lot of people transition during this time of year, You know, it's not surprising. We have a lot of souls that come in during this time of year, which you can tell from all like the Virgo, Scorpio, and Sagittarius babies. So obviously, with all the souls coming in, souls are going out, right? So I know there's a lot of issues with physical health as well as with grief going on. So I don't know. You guys can always let me know what you think I should work on next. But those activation kits are going to start coming out. I'll probably start sending them out in the beginning of January, unless I get a lot of pre-orders and people want them sooner. Then I'll get them sent out sooner. It is what it is. But yeah, I love you guys. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget, follow me on YouTube at The Enlightened Daughter. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. I'm everywhere. So, I'm everywhere. Anyway, I love you. God loves you. Angels surround you. Let's close out with a prayer, and then I will send you guys on your way. So thank you, Mother, Father, God, for being here with me and the collective at this time. Thank you to our beautiful teams of light and all the souls that have watched this live or who are going to be watching the recording. Thank you for every blessing being just amplified at this time. We are open and we willingly receive the blessings and the miracles of abundance and gratitude and peace and joy and release that are coming into our life. Thank you for helping to bring us into balance with our energies, our masculine, our feminine, our light and our shadow, as within, so without, as above, so below. Thank you, Heavenly Father, Heavenly Mother, because where two or more are gathered, so shall you be. So thank you for coming and joining us in this space and amplifying these energies. Thank you for blessing and honoring and uplifting and helping to ascend and grow and evolve everyone that is listening to these messages. May all of these messages serve everyone's highest and greatest good and lead them to the highest and greatest timeline. May they be tapped into the signs and the synchronicities that you put forth before them as they go through the next coming weeks, and really just tap into their higher selves so that they are led down the right path. May we all have clarity and insight. Please repeat any messages that are meant for our highest and greatest good at least 3 times with crystal clear clarity so that we can move forward with them with complete confidence, complete strength, right? Absolute strength, absolute love, perfect faith. So thank you for being here. Thank you for blessing us. Thank you for honoring us. Thank you. And so it is. Ashe and amen. All right. I love you guys. And I'll see you later.